Yeah, yeah, yeah. Show me some. Show me some. Show me some.
Good day, madam.
Show me some.
Good day, sir.
Show me some.
See, my week is just not complete without one of those. It's just not. It's
And
not.
I can see why, because it's awesome.
Have you ever seen one of these, Miranda?
What? What is that?
The little shoe. It goes on.
Is
It's
it
a little
for an elf?
keychain.
Oh, is it for an
Yes,
elf?
it's
Elf on the
for
shelf?
yeah, it's for the elf on a shelf. No, it's a
Wow.
little keychain. I love them. I love them. My daughter found one in school. I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome. Anyway, enough about my shoe. How is your week going? Guess what we have this week, buddy?
So,
1 week.
okay. So while you're listening to this podcast, it'll be like it's Wednesday, right? We're at Ignite in Dallas, and we are on stage for the first time ever, branded as Don't Suck at Sales on, I believe it's Wednesday next week, which would
7th.
be the 7th. So if you
Yeah.
haven't got your tickets yet, come see us, y'all. It's gonna be killer. We have done stage stuff before, but never Don't Suck at Sales. But this is gonna be good. We've been putting our best foot forward with your little shoe, and we could have got my broken foot in his little shoe. It'll be great. So
Best foot forward. With that, I think that's an Air Force One. If I'm not mistaken.
So John, I saw you posting not too long ago on your Facebook page. I can't remember what it was. You're making some commitment on your Facebook page about something. What was that?
Miranda, I make all kinds of commitments.
What? Tell us about the last one, because I can't remember what it was.
Well, let's see. Miranda is calling me out live, and I need to go back because I post so often that I'll tell you what my last post was. Whatever
Okay.
you think about, whatever you talk about, whatever you focus on is exactly what is going to happen in your life. Garbage in
Ooh.
equals garbage out. If you talk crap to yourself, you'll produce those results. If you speak positively, you will get those results. Let's teach this to our children as soon as we can.
I like it.
That was my last post.
So I think he's trying to avoid you guys the question, because I said, what was a commitment that you made on Facebook? Okay, I know that you've done gratitude challenges and like stuff like that before, but the reason I'm asking, John, is because did you know that if you say a goal out loud, like, and make a Facebook post about it or something, or commit to somebody, that you have a 65% chance to actually make it like happen? Okay, did you know that?
Ooh, I did not, Miranda. Well,
Okay.
you know what? I think your book kind of did share some of
It did.
the
Okay,
statistics with me.
he
So I
has
kinda-
read my book. Okay, it's in my okay, now you're cheating. It is in the first part of my book. Okay. But here's another thing that I want to bring up, because who wants to have a 65% chance of something? That's not really that great. That's okay, right? But wouldn't it be better if it was like 95%?
Yes.
Did you know that if you had an ongoing accountability meeting with someone for something, now you have a 95% chance of actually following through and making it happen? That's why going to the gym sometimes doesn't work as good as having like a meeting with like a personal trainer at a specific time on, a planned schedule, right? Like it's all there. And I was thinking
I think
about
that's
that.
Miranda, I think that's true with anything in life, though, right? Like,
It
I mean,
is.
honestly, think about almost anything that you do. I truly do believe that you like consistently kind of like let yourself down, but you almost won't organically won't let that other person down or others down. Like if I have a tea time, let's say that I'm going out in the morning. I intend tomorrow morning to go out to the golf course. I don't have anyone going with me, and all I'm going to do is hit balls, work on certain things, and like let's say it's 6:15. I won't like hold myself accountable to go to 6:15 if it's just myself. But if I'm meeting a buddy there to work on certain thing, I will be there right at 6:15.
Yep.
So I think like every aspect of our life is that way. The more I kind of think about it, anyway.
And okay, so that's one of the biggest things I think in this business that people struggle with is I was always told that you want to be like your own worst boss you've ever had, but also be the best employee you've ever been at the same time. But people sometimes struggle with finding ways to implement that accountability, right? And that structure of this ongoing accountability. So we're going to share with you a tip that will transform your business if you do it, okay? But most people on here, the average ones, John, they're going to hear what we're about to say, and guess what they're going to do?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay. And then some of you guys are going to do it a couple times, and then you're going to fall off, and you're going to try to be committed, right? And then boom, fall off. But the champions are going to actually do it, and they're going to run with it, and you're going to see your business completely change. Because guys, growth can be painful, right? Change can be painful, but nothing is as painful as staying like stuck, right? Or being in the exact same place now that you are like a week from now, just or months or a year from now. Just like John, the people that decide to don't go to conference and see us on stage, right? They're going to be the exact same person in a week or two, but the ones that go, they're going to be, you know, that much better from making that decision. But
So be better, y'all.
be better, y'all. But hey, all right, so let's talk about this system, okay? Because this is something that absolutely has changed my business. It's something that I am an absolute what's the right word?
Nerd.
Nerd about. Yes, but this is something that I will not stop talking about, because in 2024 everyone on my team is doing this. I'm doing it for my entire master agency. This, what I'm about to share with you, is being shot over to like Marshall Whalen, you, John, Ryan, like everyone in my circle of influence, so that they can help hold me accountable. Because guys, I'm doubling my business this year, and I'm not going to double my business doing the same things that I did last year, because what I did last year got me to where I was last year. Doing different things is going to get me where I want to go. So you ready to hear it?
I am ready to hear it and see it.
Okay.
That's
so
why they need to be on YouTube.
First of all, yes, if you're not on YouTube, you're missing out, because we're about to show something that we don't normally do, which is a slide. All right. So if you are not tracking your business, you do not have a business. You have a hobby. Let's just start with that. Okay. You got to be tracking your business. Number one, if you're producing, track your leads, your dials, contacts, appointments, all of it, right? If you're building a team, we should be tracking the same thing for our team, our building like investments, lead investments, all of it. Okay. But what do we do with that? I know in Quality on our Basecamp Summit journey, there's a counting what counts, like Excel spreadsheet document where you can plunk in like your numbers. I'm not talking about just doing that. Okay. I'm asking you to take it a step further, right? Are we doing like a recap? Are we doing like a business plan, right? Are we really like flushing out, taking like 5 or 10 minutes a week? I didn't say a day, a week, to look at where we are and where are we going and where we've been. Okay. So John, do you have anything to add before I pull up like the document of awesomeness to share with our viewing?
So what were you saying? You said where we are going,
and where we were.
Okay. Well, because I think that that's really important, just kind of as a baseline. It's like, right? Like,
yeah,
the reflection aspect of it. But no, I'll let you dive into this just in lieu of time, and then I'll piggyback where I see fit.
So here's the thing. We're looking at multiple buckets, right? So when we're building a business here, this is what I'm sharing with my agency is production metric. How many sets, how much did you submit, issue, how much did you spend on leads, what's type, where are you in your training, building, it's same thing. Like how many, interviews did we do? How many people did we talk to? But most importantly is the reflection. Like what went well, what didn't go well? What do you plan to improve or expect from yourself this week? And when we're looking back, it's so important, John, to be talking about like, let's say you had a bad week. We've all had them. Maybe John won't admit that he's had them, but he has had them, right? You got to find something good, because you can't ever have a positive life when you're only focused on negative things. It doesn't work. So no matter what, if it was I shouldn't be swearing, a SHITTY week, all right? It's like, okay, baby, we resolved a lot of leads. We showed up. We bought a lot of, I don't know. Maybe you just,
The numbers owe me,
they
right?
do.
Yeah.
Yes. Or maybe like what didn't go well, right? Like let's dive in, because if you're shooting this business plan to like your entire like circle of influence, if you have a problem, someone on there is going to have a solution. Right? But first of all, you identifying the problem is like almost half the battle's won, right? And
I
then
think
what are
that
you going to do
I think that
about it?
that's a really like that right there. I think is the biggest thing. You're gonna find that like you get paid for the amount of problems that you can solve.
Mm-hmm.
Truly. And that's what this is. You're just solving a problem. You're solving a challenge. And what like, and that's what here you're focusing on the end. Like, what's your plan to improve it? All right. So here's what I realized what I need to improve upon. And then here are the solutions that I'm going to do to improve upon that so I can be better at my show rate. So I can be better at my net placement rate. So I can be better at getting more referrals to make myself more profitable, to drive down my advertising expense. So I can, right? And there's so many different things that you can focus on. And once you start hammering in on that point, and number one, being aware of it, I think is extremely important. But number two, focus on a plan. And then, all right, I tried this, it didn't go as well. Let me reach out to someone. I know that so-and-so has an amazing referral factor. I'm going to reach out to him. All right, now I'm going to start her, and now I'm going to start implementing that process. And then over a 6-week period of time, how is that progression going? How am I doing with it? All right, after 6 weeks, I expected to be here. Here's where I'm at. Now let me reach out to somebody else and like see if I get a different tip on getting much better to improve. Is what I'm saying kind of making sense, Miranda?
Yeah, and it's all like a form of journaling, right? You'll start solving your own problems just when you put ink to paper, right? That's what happens, right? But again, it's like it's having a plan. Again, this goes back to my book. It's like we spend so much fatigue on making decisions. This literally took me for my master agency, like took 10 minutes to get these numbers together this week and write this out. Like it's the best investment that you can do. And then having your plan, like what are you expecting? John, there was times when I was brand new and I sent this off to you guys and Marshall Wayland, and I said, I found my first agent from Cold Market 3 hours away in Orlando. And I'm going to go ahead and cancel all my appointments this week, drive up to Orlando and train this person. And I sent it to Marshall and he responded and he said, that's the worst idea I've ever heard. Like you write like 10K a week. If that person wants to learn, they should come down to you. You don't cancel your stuff. I'm like, okay, good. Thank God I sent the report, or I would have got my momentum all screwed up. I would have like totally like, yeah. So this thing has saved me more than I can imagine. So.
Well, that, yeah, right. Like just again, because of what you're talking about, just because I was simply reporting too, I figured out really quick that I should, back when we were driving, is that I shouldn't only set one appointment 2 hours away from me, that I should set multiple, right? And I remember coming back, kind of reporting back what happened that week, how I got really upset that I spent 4 hours in the car, didn't even sit with the family. And then we had a conversation about it. Hey, you shouldn't only book one appointment going down there. You should set 4 or 5 appointments knowing that 1 or 2 might not show up and blah, blah, blah. So again, it created that, like, it solved that dissatisfaction in my brain, knowing that here's what I should do differently next time. So then that way I don't feel the same way that I felt this particular week in regard to that. So good, bud.
Yeah. So the next thing is projection. This is you putting down on paper, like, what are you doing this week? Right? Success happens in your mind before it happens in real life. Right? Put it on paper. If you're John, you're going to put it on Facebook. He's not going to just send it to his upline. He's going to go ahead and put it on Facebook for his 5,000 however many friends to see. Right? And then lastly, this evaluation column is really our business model. The 4 keys to a successful week and 4 cornerstones. Rate yourself out of 10 in each one of those for the week. Right? If anything's less than an 8, you got to get that up, or that's going to be the murder weapon of your story. Right? So this whole thing gets sent to your upline, right? And sidelines and whoever else. I also would send the counting what counts document that I know everyone's filling out anyways, and your weekly schedule, right? This is another way. Do you have a schedule? Number 1, have you shared it with anyone? It's part of the 4 keys, right? Send it to your mentor. If I'm doing a coaching session with an agent, it's required. And I can tell more in like reading an email and seeing a schedule than I can in an hour-long phone call trying to figure out what's going on. So this is something that if you do it and stick with it, guaranteed it will grow your business like no tomorrow. I would go as far, John, to say it'll double, triple, quadruple your business because it's enabling you to hold yourself accountable and focus on the things that matter.
So good, buddy. So good. So Miranda, I think that everyone should do it. How about if you're going to do this, like obviously you can go back there, you can pause it, take a screenshot, write it down, create your own. But if you're gonna do this, we want you to put the number 12. No, how about this? How about we want you to put the number 52 in the chat. How many remaining weeks are there for the rest of the year, Miranda? Hey, Siri,
I think there's what,
how many
like
weeks are left in
48?
2024?
48.
All right, so 48. Let's just say that. So put the number 48 in the chat if you're going to do it for the next 48 weeks. Hold yourself accountable out loud. Send this to your upline. Send this to your manager. Send this to your direct. Send this to even on your social media. And hold maybe a much larger group. Send this out to your team. Start holding yourself accountable. If you're going to do this, put the number 48 in the chat so we can see who is impacted by this particular call. I love it.
All right, guys. And just remember that you can't be great if you're content being good. So let's do this, and we will see you in Ignite next week. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Show me some. Show me some. Show me some. Show me some.